Machina snuck up on me. I didn't know it was going to be back. And then suddenly there it was on my Prime homepage.
They did turn it around pretty fast. Shouldn't it take like 2 years for a new cartoon to come out? I mean, where the hell is Invincible?
I saw some of their behind the scenes stuff, and they're talking about how, how long it takes and the animators. And the biggest thing is taking their days and days of actual playtime and taking that story and that plot and, chopping it down to something workable, something that fits, and something where everybody gets like a piece of the plot in a story, because it's a, ensemble cast.
Oh, yeah. That's why you have writers.
I think they got their hands on the wheel for, they might have actual writers, but they're the ones who are like, this is an important plot point and this is where it needs to go, and ignore this, like 15 hours of playtime where we just went off on a weird tangent. And
yeah,
I kind of get the feeling that they're heavily, maybe not the entire group, but like 2 or 3 of them are kind of directing shit.
That could be, but at the rate they're passing plot points, they're going to run out of stuff very quickly.
Are you up to date on the actual playthrough that Critical Role did for this plot? So you're kind of in the know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is all season 1.
Okay, I have not watched nearly enough to actually follow. Yeah, I don't have any spoilers, really.
Season 1 was about 120 episodes, all about 3 or 4 hours each. Mm-hmm. It's a long chunk of time.
That's like a month.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things I just kind of had on in the background a lot. So I didn't intensely focus on what was going on as if I was there, because I'm just not that big of a nerd. But I'm passingly familiar with all of it and the major plot points and stuff. And what they're doing now is like 3/4 of the way through their game. This is like episode 70 stuff.
I loved how season 1 ended on such a badass cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And that flows into my first comment about season 2, episode 1, is they picked up right where they left off, where they were getting assaulted by 4 big ass dragons. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, ancient super dragon.
And the writers of the show, the creative talents, have played D&D. I know that. If I didn't know that, if Critical Role didn't exist and this show was just coming out, I'd make the statement that this tells me these people have played at least the barest hint of D&D, because they had the dragons with the colors and they all had their different breath weapon types.
Yeah. Which they represented really amazingly well.
Really well. I mean, here comes Ice Dragon.
I think the White Dragon had the coolest breath weapon. When he was blasting people with the beam of frost, and you'd see their like exploded bodies inside of the ice.
Yeah. And then Chlorine Gas Dragon. Chlorine Gas Dragon, Green Dragon, killed the king. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was horrifying. Just the poison gas he's shooting out.
And the acid.
That was melting the shit out of everybody.
You're watching that and you're like, wow, they're finally, representing dragons properly. It's so cool. F those fire-breathing dragons. And then the big main red dragon stands up and he's like, hold my beer.
Yeah, and he throws off that Godzilla blast that's like more of like a plasma beam than an actual fire. Yeah,
it started out as fire, and then he like kind of shifted up a gear or down a gear or whatever way you shift when you're a dragon, and turned into like a blue flame laser shot through the mountain. I think of it like Avatar: The Last Airbender, where if you're a firebender, you can actually get to a point, if you're skilled enough, where you can do blue flame stuff, which is much more powerful than regular flame. And surprisingly, I'll get to that later, but that will not be my only Avatar: The Last Airbender comment. There will be one more.
The fire breath thing, that's what I wanted to see in House of the Dragon as well.
They could have and should have, because think about Mandalorian with the Krayt Dragon and the acid and how it was just completely like destroying all those sand people.
Yeah. I don't think we can call them sand people anymore, by the way.
Is that wrong?
That's racist. We can't do that.
That's like camel jockey.
Exactly.
We have to call them Tusken Raiders. Tusken Raiders, that's like aggressive, though. You're like, oh, you're going to raid me. Oh, you're a 10-year-old Tusken child. You're going to raid me. So what do we call them? Tuskens?
It's got to be Tuskens or, I don't know, native Tatooians.
Tatooian Aboriginals. Anyway, sorry, Tuskens. Okay, so in The Mandalorian, they had live-action, awesome-looking dragon vomiting a load of acid onto people and having them melt. That looked cool. So yeah, Game of Thrones would benefit if they actually tried to divvy up their dragon fire weapons a little bit more, right?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Yeah, if they had different species, yeah.
Damn it, George. Maybe George never played D&D. Maybe he doesn't know what's up. What do they call themselves? The Color Coalition or something like that?
The Chroma Conclave.
Chroma Conclave. They had all of the colors.
They were diverse. Wokeness has invaded the draconic realm.
Oh, God, they're so woke. God damn it. All right, so dragons looked awesome. During the dragon attack, right when they're like, oh, shit, they're coming, and everybody starts scrambling around, there was some kind of maybe captain of the guard who was a black man with sideburns and a fro. And as soon as I saw him, I'm like, is that Black Belt Jones? Because... Do you know who I'm talking about? The guy?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know if he died. I don't think he died. You know what we know him from? Enter the Dragon.
Yeah.
It all connects.
If you're going to hire a bodyguard, you hire Black Belt Jones.
That's true. Grog's beard.
That was a whole other thing from the game, yes. The beard.
I was going to ask that. Is that something that happened in the game? He found just like a reward and or cursed object or whatever, and he gave him a beard.
I got a beard!
It's a magic item called the Belt of Dwarven Kind, and it gives you various Dwarven-type powers, such as the infravision and ability to notice stonework and stuff like that. And also, anyone who dons the belt immediately grows a beard.
Damn, I make this look good. Oh, yeah.
And in the show, it was a whole thing because Goliaths have no hair at all, anywhere on their body. And so he was so excited in the original game. He was so excited. It took place over several sessions, but he started to grow some stubble. And he was very proud of his stubble. And the beard started coming in a little bit. And at one point, he was passed out drunk. And Vax used his stealth and snuck up on him and shaved half his face. But the beard was with us in the game for quite some time.
The actor / role player who plays Grog, he does his in-character stuff so well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's probably my favorite one there, just with the way he balances the comedy with not stepping on everybody else's toes.
A couple of little funny quips. I mean, in Vox Machina, they try to set like a comedic tone as well as being also quite serious, but they definitely are like, comedy forward. They're all running around the destroyed shop of magic items, and he's like,
the fabled lance of dragon slaying. Of course.
And then it just breaks.
And the roof falls in on it.
That was funny. And then when they teleported to the place outside of the city, and there's a bunch of refugees, and they're all helping him out. Like, come this way. And Scanlan's like,
everybody inside. It's going to be fine. Oh, and hey, if you go in my room, that's like a totally normal swing. Don't worry about it.
that was quite awesome. I like that.
It was. The comedy kind of works. There was an enormous body count of innocent civilians for the comedy to really land. It was, kind of like, cracking jokes during Schindler's List or something. Objectively, it was kind of funny.
That's so Scanlan. He keeps it light. I like how his big, giant pink hand has turned into a pink foot as needed. What's the name of the spell? Bigby's floating hand?
There are various Bigby spells, all of them involving hands. There's the interposing hand, the grasping hand.
Episode 2. Speaking of Scanlan and his pink body part projections, at the beginning of the episode, the tree vag teleportation did not work out quite as planned, so they end up falling straight down. And
the landing's gonna be a bit rough. I'll save our asses with some fun stuff.
I love that.
That was good. That was just like the quippy loveliness that I love. Pike, the little gnome cleric, she's just like,
Beauty first.
Last one in is a troll dick.
Last one through is a troll dick. Little lines like that make me love the show so damn much. Plus, they're like sitting around the fire, and the guy's telling the story, and his name was Pervon.
His name was Pervon.
perv on.
Last name Pedo Bear, maybe?
I mean, you gotta get your perv on.
That was awesome. That just makes the show for me.
Yeah, because that feels like real RPG stuff.
You know that as they're playing the RPG, like that actually, like those are probably direct quotes of direct historical quotes of what happened during the RPG. And the fact that they make sure that those are in the show is, I think, what just makes it awesome. Because no other movie, cartoon, animation, whatever, nothing ever was generated like Vox Machina, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, this was generated through like months of RPG time. So it's awesome how they're able to bring like the highlights to the screen, which is one of the reasons why I just absolutely love the show.
Yeah, there's a few absolutely hilarious moments that haven't been in the show yet, which I'm kind of waiting on, because if they put that in, they're certainly going to put this stuff in. I won't spoil anything.
Critical Role began their first campaign, like at this point, what, like 5 years or more ago?
More than that, I'd imagine.
Okay, longer than that. So we're seeing like, oh, look, it's the original cast. Everyone's here. But there's the guy that played the wizard that's gone.
Yeah. The Dragonborn wizard guy, Orion.
Did you happen to see, was there like a separating of ways, a falling out? Like, why did he disappear and why is he not involved in any of this anymore?
I read something about this some time ago, so my details aren't perfect, but there was a fair amount of animosity, a lot of tension in the group or something along those lines.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't fitting in terribly well. And if you watch some of the early episodes, yeah, he does a lot of interrupting and talking over people and trying to solve every situation himself, kind of stuff.
So he acted like 80% of the people that play role-playing games.
Yes, yeah, one of those.
He probably feels like a real asshole now.
Yeah, right?
As the YouTube channel is growing in fame and getting larger and larger, he was probably able to stave off feeling like an asshole. But now that, there's like a Amazon Prime successful as hell. Yeah.
Look, I should have kept my mouth shut sometimes.
I know. Poor guy.
He doesn't seem like that bad of a guy, just from like watching him on there, but a little bit much sometimes. Just dial it back a notch. And I guess maybe they talked to him, asked him to dial it back, and he didn't dial it back. So they cut him.
And I mean, that social interaction blueprint, I've been there. I've seen it. I've seen that so many damn times.
Yeah.
Completely understandable. What else? Oh, my Avatar reference. I think it was Ep 2. Maybe it was Ep 3. But they're farting around a town. They split up. And Percy notices that there's a black powder cellar.
Ah, yes.
You probably thought it was just kind of a douchey scene. It was a little bit over the top. The guy behind the counter was kind of douchey. But when I saw him and then immediately heard his voice, I'm like, it's Boomy! It's Boomy from Avatar! The first thing he said is, business is booming! And I'm like, oh, it's a reference. It's such a reference.
Totally went over my head. I missed that entirely.
It would, because, you didn't watch far enough into it. But that was such an Avatar The Last Airbender reference, which is cool because I'm like, oh, they know, they've seen. Good for them. So in summation, Vox Machina's back. If you haven't watched it and have no idea what we're talking about, it should be popping up in your face as you click on Amazon Prime to go look at, like, I don't know, Thursday Night Football's over or whatever the hell you were watching on friggin' Prime. Go there, and Vox Machina right now is prominent. It's prominently displayed, so it's easy to find. Go to season 1, Ep 1 and watch it.